Yo, and today I'm just gonna quickly go over the first movie that came out because it was an hour long and it was honestly a big waste of time to watch the whole thing. They didn't have the script and they just for the whole time they just did whatever they wanted, kind of in a way. I'm not saying it's bad or anything or the game is bad. The game looked absolutely amazing. It's just it was a really big waste of time. So I'm just gonna kind of shorten it down to what I think was the main parts of it into like 15-20 minutes, whatever, and show you like the most main parts that I think were interesting about the movie, so you guys don't have to spend an hour watching the entire thing. This is the first of the movies, so there was no like powers shown like devil fruits or nothing like that too much. That's gonna be in the second movie, and then there's a third. I'm guessing the first two are gonna be showcases of the game. I don't know why they're called movies. They're not really movies. And third ones are actually gonna be animations. You know. So with that, let's get started, and I'm gonna show you what I think was the most interesting parts of the actual movie. And I did watch the entire thing. Yeah, kind of a waste of time. Not gonna lie. Okay, so first we have customization. There's a bunch of different customization for both females and males. Hairs, different clothing. You can change your clothing colors as well. After you're in game, you can click on it in your inventory and you can choose either custom colors or your clan or crew colors. Also, your race. Unlike other games where you had to pay Robux to change it, here you just straight up choose whatever race you want. I'm not sure if it actually has perks, but you can just choose. So there's no Robux spending on that. If you want to be a Skypean, you can be a Skypean. If you want to be a Mink, you can be a Mink. Also, another thing is at the start you get to choose your weapon. There's katana, dagger, I think there's like a spear and flintlock. And so yeah, you choose that as well as the start and a bunch of other things. So that's that for customization. There's obviously a bunch of it. There's different faces, clothing, all of that, like I said. But yeah, that's it. This wasn't too important, but you know, if you're really interested in that, that's what it is. Okay, so next they talk about progression. They did talk about Tester as well, but I'm not gonna include that. It's just basic information on Tester, which is available in their Discord. They're gonna like get small little waves of Testers, whatever. But right now I'm gonna talk about something that's actually important. That's progression. They're not gonna have like a linear progression. You can do whatever you want in your progression. There's thieving, there's wood cutting, there's cooking, there's obviously killing if you want that. There's bounty, whatever, all that stuff. And in this clip that I'm showing you right now, he showcases thieving, where you lockpick stuff and you get XP. They also showcase a little bit of fishing, which you can also do for XP. So you can do whatever you want. That's actually really interesting that it's in a Roblox game. It is kind of rare because most Roblox games just have bandit beating. But yeah, that's just something that I felt was like important, because it is, because a lot of people actually expected this game to have better progression than just like, you know, other games. So yeah, that's all for the progression. Let's get to the next part. Okay, so in this small part they did talk about a little bit about blueprints, which you can use for your ships to change different things about your ships, etc. They matter a lot because ships are going to be really important, like they said in the game. I'll show you a bit sooner. And also ships have a lot of customization. They also talk about a little bit a merchant. You can be like a merchant and sell things just by dropping them on the ground using bags and selling them. You get XP for that as well. And they also showcase the chests a little bit. But yeah, that's all. This part is really small, nothing too important, but still needed to be known. Alright, so the next part is mounts. They didn't go too in depth on it, so I won't either, but they just showcased a bunch of mounts. There's different animals and stuff. The way he got it is by lockpicking a chest at a barn. They didn't go too in depth on how to get them, and I didn't really understand it either, but they just showcased them. They look pretty cool. There's different animals, like I said, and different vehicles. So it looks pretty cool. They said it's not going to be too strong, not like way better than ships, but they're not 100% certain on that. But yeah, that's all for this part. Also very short, but hey, if you want to see the mounts, that's what they are. Next is the combat. The combat looks pretty cool. You can quick swap between weapons, like pistols and like different like, you know, swords, etc. to do different combos. There's also a lot of air combo due to Geppo. You can like Geppo everywhere. There's also like execution, when you sneak behind someone and you execution them. I'm not certain for 100% kills. But yeah, that's also cool. All different weapons have different animations, etc. There's Yoru, there's different katanas, there's obviously guns, etc. The heavy ones are obviously what's it called, they do more damage, but they're slower. Faster weapons do less damage and they're faster. They also showed us there's like these dashing attacks in a way, and different weapons have like different variants of them. Like the gravity cane had like a few slashes. You dash forward and you slash. Katanas had different ones, etc. The combat looks pretty cool. It's nothing like out of this world, you know, but it looked pretty cool. And yeah, that's pretty much it, because I can't say too much because there's obviously no devil fruits involved, etc. But swords definitely have cool combat so far from what we've seen. And what you're on the screens, what you're seeing right now is basically the combat. If you want to see, if you're gonna want to go see on depth, you can go watch the actual movie, just that part, because that's honestly the only part that talks about combat. But yeah, that's all for the combat. nothing too special. It's something that you'll have to get used to, but it's not something that's too complicated. I'd say I can't really explain it perfectly. It's better than to understand when you actually playing the game. So let's just wait for that. Okay, so next is the ship part, which is probably the most important part of the video. It was like 60% of the entire video, and they said themselves they want like the ships to be stronger than Delphoot users. They don't want like a single Delphoot user to take on an entire ship. So that's pretty cool and interesting. Ships have a ton of customization, which I really like. There's a front part which you can completely change, which has like different amount of cannons and all different stuff. There's the middle part, which is like the hull and the back, and they're all very different. You can also customize the ship by changing the sails, the look of it, like different colors. You can also add wings to it so it turns faster. You can even add an engine to it, so it goes faster. You can reinforce it with metal and everything, all of that. You can also place things on the ship like different cooking pots, etc. So you can cook stuff. You can change the cannons as well. There's like cannons that shoot 4 cannonballs at the same time, etc. There's so much to go over. I'm not gonna go like obviously and tell you about every single thing, but you can see in the video pretty much a lot of it, and honestly 90% of it. Next we're gonna go over the combat as well, which is really like Arcane Odyssey. But yeah, the ship customization is really awesome. I like how there's like 3 different components, so like 3 different key parts to the ship they can customize, and there's some of them are really weird looking. There's one that comes really wide for some reason, and has like, which has 4 cannons on it, and each and different piece, like I said, has different amount of like cannons, has different stats and etc. Like a wider piece is gonna have like more HP but less speed. So each and every ship that you build is gonna be different depending on which pieces you choose and parts or whatever. So that's pretty cool. So no ship is gonna be the same. You know, some might be faster, some might be more tankier, some might be, you know, other stuff. You know, I'm not sure. They might add different ship stats other than like HP, etc. There's also turning. So like I said, if you add wings you can turn faster, but also different parts can turn faster, etc. And also there's 3 different types of ships. There's like sloop. There's 3 different ones. There's small, medium, and big. Basically there's galleon, sloop, and whatever the first one is called, I completely forgot. And also there's crews, which you can like hire and get from like defeating, I think, NPC crews, etc., which can work for you, or something like an Arcane Odyssey, etc. Alright, so next part is ship combat, which I'm gonna get into. That's pretty much for this. There's obviously a bunch of customizations, different types of ships, different crews, and so much more, but I went through like 90% of it, so that's pretty much all you need to know. Okay, so next, first thing we see is how you can summon your ship. You basically summons like a small whirlpool, and your ship comes out of it. Next thing that they talk about is when they're sailing, and they talk about how they worked on the physics of the ship, and you can actually fight on ships while it's moving. They said it's really janky if you have like a bunch of people on it, but if there's less people and the ship is moving, you can actually have good fights in it, just like in One Piece, which is also really cool. And they said it took a while to make. I mean, it makes sense because it's actual like ship physics, and a lot of games on Roblox you literally just fly off once you jump off. But that's pretty much it just for like actual combat. But for actual ship combat, they showcase that you can actually like go in one cannon and you can shoot it to any direction, etc., like similar to Arcane Odyssey. Once you sit at the wheel, you can shoot all cannons at the same time if you want, exactly like Arcane Odyssey. But I'm not saying that it's like copied or anything, but that's a really good mechanic that I like, because you know, you don't have to like come up to every single cannon and just shoot it. You can just sit on the wheel and just shoot and have fights, etc. Now what's unique is actually when you're fighting someone, it's not like you hit them and they lose HP. Once you hit them, in that part there's gonna be like a different color circles. There's like green, yellow, red, I think. And what that means is if you hit that spot again, it's gonna have like a destruction multiplier in a way. Actually, it is HP in a way, I guess. So if you hit the same spot 3 times, it's gonna multiply that damage and do a lot to the ship, which will, you know, obviously cause it to sink after you hit it a lot of times. Okay, next we're gonna talk about jails, marines, and like camps. So basically, if you break the law and you get caught, you get sent to a camp where there's different tasks, but the one he got sent to is mining, where he just has to mine his life away until it's free, I guess. He is in a marine like base where only marines can enter, so there won't be any like pirates roaming around. There's also, they talk about there's Impel Down, like the guy who's in the marines, he said he's gonna send people to the Impel Down. So that's really interesting. There's actual like jail, and it's cool that they're actually shedding light on marines, because usually marines don't have too much things in other games. Also, marines, they get their own obviously clothing, they get their own ships, which is a warship, the biggest one, and it's even bigger than the pirates galleon. It's huge, so that's cool. And they also get their own ranks, which they can obviously go up in. They have different bases, Impel Down, they can send people to camps, etc. I'm pretty sure they have some, maybe their own weapons, I'm not sure about that. So yeah, That's pretty much for that video. Really cool, really informational. It was a bit dragged on, and it wasn't really a movie, but still, we got a lot of information about Rell Seas, and I'm glad. And that's basically all for today. That's all you honestly need to know, and yeah, I'll see you soon.